Hey guys, today I'm going to do the autumn book tag. This is 7 questions all about reading, so let's get started. Question number 1 is, are there any books you plan on reading over the autumn season? Yes, there are a bunch of books that I plan on reading this season, especially 4 that I got out from the library that I'll show you now. The first one is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And this is not a new book, but it's one I've been meaning to read for so long. I don't know how many people have recommended this to me, and I just thought enough is enough. I need to finally read this book, so I can't wait to get started on this one. Next up is this book of comedic essays called You'll Grow Out of It by Jessie Klein. Jessie Klein is a writer, she's a comedian, she's written for Inside Amy Schumer and Saturday Night Live. If you've watched some of my other videos, then you know that I love reading comedic essays. They're actually one of my favorite things. And this is definitely the next one on my radar, so I'm looking forward to reading this before bed probably. Next is this book, which has been on my radar for quite a while. It's part of the Jane Austen project. This is Eligible by Curtis Sittenfeld. And the Jane Austen project, if you don't know, is where they take 6 of Jane Austen's novels and they pair them up with contemporary writers who kind of reimagine them in a contemporary way, rewrite them. And so I've already read Northanger Abbey and Sense and Sensibility, and Pride and Prejudice I've been kind of holding off, so I'm really excited to finally read this. I really hope I like it, but it got some great reviews, and I can't imagine how daunting it would be to try to rewrite one of the most famous books in the English language. So either way, I am really excited to read this. This is Modern Lovers by Emma Straub, and I first read her book The Vacationers when it came out a couple of years ago, I think, and I really enjoyed it. This is her new book. I don't know anything about it, which I actually prefer, so I'm really looking forward to digging into this one next. So here's question number 2. September brings back school memories. What book did you most enjoy studying, and what were your favorite and least favorite school subjects? I loved studying books as much as I like reading books now, and I'm sure at the time there were books that I didn't really connect with or something, but in general, I really liked studying books in school. But there are 2 books that really stand out to me, which would be To Kill a Mockingbird and Fahrenheit 451, and they both made a really lasting impression on me. As far as my favorite subjects go, I would definitely have to say English and music, and my least favorite subject was always math. Here's question number 3. October means Halloween. Do you enjoy scary books and films? If so, what are some of your favorites? No, I hate scary things. I actively avoid them. I get scared really easily. I do remember loving Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I don't know if that counts, but I loved reading that book. When I was younger, I read a lot of R.L. Stine books. If anyone remembers those, I loved those, even though they did scare me. And I recently watched Stranger Things, which felt like quite a triumph because it seemed scary. And I even dressed up as Barb for Halloween, and my boyfriend was 11, and we actually made a video about it, so if you haven't seen that, then I'll link it. When I was a kid, I went to see the play Dracula with my family, and my brother and I were really little. I don't remember how small, but quite young. And I was so terrified by Dracula that my brother and I had to sleep in the same room for about 2 years. It was over a year, I think it was like 2 years. And for a long time after that even, I had to sleep with my closet doors closed because for whatever reason, I thought that if my closet doors were open, then that was an entry point for vampires like Dracula, so very logical, of course. But no, I hate scary things. So that would be the answer to that question. Question 4 is, with November, it's time for bonfire night and firework displays. What's the most exciting book you've read that really kept you gripped? Most recently, I would say it was The Girl on the Train, which I didn't know anything about, but I ended up reading it in 2 sittings in bed, and it was one of those things where you just keep turning the page because you've just got to know what happens next. You read for hours and hours, and I just couldn't put it down. So question number 5 is, what book is your favorite cozy comfort read? If it's cozy and comfort I'm after, then probably it will be a book that I've read before, so I know what I'm getting, and usually it's a Nora Ephron book of essays, especially her last 2. This one is called I Remember Nothing, and the other one is I Feel Bad About My Neck. I've talked about how much I love these before, and she wrote 2 lists, one called What I Won't Miss, and one called What I Will Miss. And one of the things she says she'll miss is Pride and Prejudice, so I can definitely relate to that. Pie, and dinner with friends in cities where none of us lives. And that has to be one of my favorite things as well. So if it's coziness and comfort that I'm looking for, then this book is one that I often reach for. Another way that I often get cozy is just to simply sit and look through cookbooks. I find this really, really cozy, especially at this time of year when there's so many amazing stews and curries that you can make and soups. I've been really into all of those things. This is the book that I'm reading right now called Cooking for Jeffrey by Ina Garten. I absolutely love Ina Garten. And this book is great because it's got photos of she and Jeffrey throughout their marriage and like old vintage photos of them playing tennis and on their wedding day. But I just find in general that looking through cookbooks and coming up with ideas for recipes, there's just something about reading recipe notes, honestly, that just calms me right down. So that's probably something I do the most when I just want to calm down with a book. Number 6, curled up with a good book, what is your hot drink of choice? I guess it depends when you're curled up with a book, if it's like a Sunday morning or a rainy afternoon, or maybe it's late at night just before you go to bed. But I definitely think that having something hot in a cup, especially a mug that you really, really love, I'm obsessed with buying mugs of all kinds. You should see my kitchen cupboards, honestly. Really just elevates the whole experience and makes reading that much better. I'm a big fan of Lady Grey tea with just some almond milk and some honey, and you can never go wrong with hot chocolate. So last up is question number 7. Any plans you're looking forward to over the next few months? I'm definitely looking forward to leaning into the whole Christmas season, going to Christmas parties, drinking mulled wine with friends. There's a Christmas market in town I really like going to. I want to see the Nutcracker again. That's kind of become this seasonal touchstone that we try to go to as a tradition every year. I love going to the ballet. And just in general, trying to not get too frenzied and just enjoy time with friends and family. I finally want to read A Christmas Carol, by the way, because everyone knows, of course, the famous Charles Dickens story about 3 ghosts and everything, but I've never actually read the book. So maybe this year I will get around to that. I will keep you posted. I would love for you to leave a comment down below and tell me what you are most looking forward to about the autumn season. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you in my next video.